Good morning, everybody. Welcome to WDRB Weather Live this morning. If you missed the morning show this morning, I'm going to go through some of the weekend stuff that's going on. Obviously, not a really busy weather week. No reason to do too many WDRB Weather Lives when the weather's kind of quiet, right? But we do have rain chances for part of the weekend that are actually going to start to come up here soon. So by the end of today and heading into early tomorrow morning, rain chances are going to start to come up, which obviously you're thinking, all right, I'm going to Bourbon and Beyond. I'm going to Gaslight Festival. I'm going to the UK game today. Could any of those be affected? Well, let's get into it. First of all, I want to look at dew points. Why? Well, you have to have high dew points to get rain, right? Dew points are a measure of your moisture. And if you don't have that, well, you're not going to get any rain out of it, right? So dew points around our area, depending on where you are kind of in between not humid at all and starting to feel a little humid. It's not bad by any means. But I mean, you can see a couple locations there. E-Town, for instance, where the dew point's 64. It's a little muggy. It's not terrible. Same thing up in Austin. And then you look at Springfield with the dew point's 55, and that's no problem at all. So the question is do we have enough moisture to support rain heading into this evening and heading into tomorrow morning? My answer would be yes, but for some of us. What do I mean by that? Well, when you look at the dew points at a huge scale here, at a synoptic scale, you can see a little bit of a difference, right? You'll notice that, again, the higher dew points are off to our west. So, like Little Rock's dew point right now is sitting at 70. Kansas City's at 68. Des Moines at 67. So, you had to have high moisture in order for you to have rain. So with the higher moisture to our west, how do we get rain in our area? That's obviously a big question as well. Well, I want you to look at satellite radar. And I'm going to keep this graphics full here for a minute so you can really see it. So you see some of that rain diving into northern Indiana now, coming out of the Great Lakes. Why is that moving north to south? It's a little odd, right? It's because this high pressure, this ridge in the jet stream. So what this is doing is basically these showers are riding up and around the ridge and the jet stream. We call those ridge riders. So the rain's going up and around the high pressure and it's getting dumped right into our area. So that's why we get a little bit of it. So let's plan out the rest of your Saturday. If you're heading out this morning, you're good to go. Honestly, look, if you're heading out for the majority of the day today, I think you're probably good. I know the Gaslight Festival is going on this weekend, and we got Bourbon and Beyond today. Bourbon and Beyond today should not be too much of an issue, but you will see some of those showers as data continues to pick up on it hour by hour, continues to move them a little further to the south. Data was not showing that this morning when I came into work. So me and you are seeing this for the first time together. So rain chances start to go up mainly after about 4 o'clock. And that's because the clouds cover's coming down, and so is that batch of showers I showed you going into northern Indiana. That's what this is. So some showers get into our area around sunset. It's around a 10 to 20% chance this evening. After sunset, that rain chance remains at a solid 20% chance overnight. Here's 12 a.m. right at midnight. You see some of these showers are scattered, and then boom, what in the world? Do I think data's going a little overboard with this? Maybe a little bit. But I think this is a solid maybe 30 to 40% chance of rain as we head into this evening. Or overnight tonight, excuse me, and into tomorrow morning. So when you look at the timeline behind this, you're like, all right, cool. It's rolling through middle of the night, not that big of a deal. And I would mostly agree with you. And you'll notice a lot of these showers are moving along and mainly west of I-65. And I'll make it a little bit bigger here for you so you can see it a little bit better. But again, they're moving along and west of I-65. Why is that? Well, think back to that dew point graphic I just showed you, where the higher dew points to the west, that means some more moisture is available. So while data is continuing to show these a little bit further east of I-65, I would take it with a little bit of grain of salt. I think data is going a little overboard in how high the dew points come up. But here's the good thing, folks, is that this rain does not last all day tomorrow. So if you have morning plans on your Sunday, talking between like 3 a.m. and 10 a.m., you may run into some of these downpours that are running through our area. But it does not last much longer past that. So church services heading out early tomorrow morning. You may have some wet roads. You may have to use the windshield wipers heading out. By the afternoon, we're good. You see late morning, we're mostly dry. Early afternoon, we're pretty much all dry as well. So for Bourbon and Beyond, the last day of it, obviously probably going to be the biggest day of it, you should be good to go. You're heading out there really early, that's going to be your best rain chance. But by the afternoon, you see we're mostly dry. We get some sunshine in there, and guess what? We're still hot. We're going to be in the upper 80s. We're trying to make a run at 90 tomorrow afternoon again. But I think if you have plans on your Sunday, the best chance of rain is going to be before around 10 a.m. I think after that, we're going to start to dry out, and it's going to look a lot better after that. So the question now is, how much rain could we end up seeing from it? The answer is not a lot. And I'll show this for you again here so you can get a better look at it. This is rain totals through tomorrow evening, and you see it just doesn't add up to be a lot, right? We look further to the west, you have the darker shading signifying those higher totals outside of our viewing area. And then in our viewing area, Paoli obviously has the largest with this one model, the NAM American model, and then not a whole lot for everybody else. Not to say that there's not any, because there is, but there's just not a lot. So can this impact plans early tomorrow? Sure. Church services, grocery store runs, yada, yada, yada. By the afternoon, I think we're good to go, which is a big time for Bourbon and beyond. That's something to keep in mind if you have plans tomorrow. Let's flip back to today real quick. U of L's on a bye. WKU's on a bye. IU played yesterday. Let's talk about UK. Eastern Michigan coming into town down in Lexington. My Cats fans, if you're heading to Lex today, I think you're going to be good to go. Again, we're going to throw a 10% chance of rain in there for the game, during the entire game, because remember, when you look at advanced track, that rain, it's trying to get into our area, especially north of 64 heading to this evening. Looks like model by model, it's pushing it further to the south. So it's around a 10% chance, give or take, during the game. But since it's a later kickoff, temperatures not really going to be too much of an issue. By the way, if you guys have any questions, by all means, go ahead and ask. We can pull them in here. If not, then I'm going to assume I covered it all and you don't have any. But if you have any questions, you can see we can pull it up here and we can answer those for you, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on my Facebook page or the WDRB Facebook page. Again, so if you have plans today, I really don't think it's going to be too much of a problem in terms of the rain. But we are going to have to watch when that rain actually gets here, because as I mentioned, that data continues to move it further to the south, almost run by run. This morning, that rain that's up near Indy, and you can take a better look at it here, didn't even get close to getting here, and it basically stalled out. That's holding itself pretty well together as it's moving south of Chicago. So when this continues to move its way further to the south, we have some dry air in place, but I think we have enough moisture to where that might be able to get down into the Louisville area and further to the east as we head into this evening. And there's going to be more where that came from. As we mentioned, looking at the timeline behind these showers rolling their way on in. But I do not think they're going to come down incredibly heavy tonight either. So if we do see any rain this evening, I don't think it's going to be incredibly heavy. And it could impact you if you have some outdoor plans, but it's not worth canceling plans by any means. It's around a 10 to 20% chance. Again, that's mainly after 4 o'clock anyway, and heading into this evening. So rain chances through the weekend. Yeah, we got one tomorrow morning. Early tomorrow, that's going to be the best chance of rain. What about the rest of the week? Well, if you're sick of the 90s, I hate to break it to you, but just like the Cowboys, we're going to peak in the 90s this week. Sorry, Cowboys fans, about that one. We got a good amount of warmth in the way still heading over the next week. So this is from the Climate Prediction Center. These are basically comparing high temperatures expected over the next week and a half, so within the next 6 to 10 days, compared to average. Well, what is average? What is normal? Because we say that a lot. Well, normal right now is around 84, 85. So if we go above that, it's an above normal day. If we have a high temperature of 86, it's above normal. We're expecting a lot more of that, mid to upper 80s over the next week to week and a half. And you can find our 7-day on our website, WDRB.com, or you can find it on our WDRB weather app. And you can check out the 7-day and see how long those 90s are really going to last. But you may need that WDRB weather app. It's got live radar on it that you can move around. You may need that tomorrow morning if you have early plans tomorrow. But the afternoon should be good to go. So let's take one more look at Bourbon and Beyond today. Bourbon and Beyond today should not have many issues. This evening, I am leaving that 10% chance of rain in there. You could argue maybe upwards of a 20. I'm going to leave it at a 10 for now. But just know that data, if it continues to push that further to the south, it may need to come up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. You may have a quick sprinkle, quick shower, worst case scenario. Odds are it's going to completely miss the Expo Center anyway. So for those watching, you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. And we'll go ahead and answer those. If not, I won't take up your guys' Saturday for too much longer. But again, the good thing is about this warmth that we've got in play, guys, is that it continues to be pretty low humidity, so it's really not that humid heading into our area, heading over the next few days or so. So while we're warm, I get that, but again, it's the fact that once again we're hanging out with temps that are above normal. But if we had dew points in the 70s, this would be a completely different scenario. So I don't really think this is going to be too much of a big deal for a lot of our area coming up. I really don't. Um, but I mean, if you have plans tomorrow morning, that's just something to keep in mind, is that you may run into a few of those showers. So I don't see any questions being asked. I'm gonna give it another minute or so. And then go ahead and hop off here. Obviously, a really quiet weather week, folks. So at least what we've been dealing with. So that's why we haven't had many live streams. But um, yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Meteorologist Bryce Jones, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on the WDRB Facebook page. And we'll be live tomorrow morning as well, of course, on air. Raina and I will be, but of course, I'll be the one tracking the showers rolling through tomorrow morning. The Bourbon and Beyond tomorrow afternoon. Should be good to go. I don't really remember who's the headline tomorrow or tonight. I'm about to look that up now. Because I'm not going, but I know a lot of people are. So I think it's worth at least looking it up. So obviously today and tomorrow are going to be kind of the bigger days of Bourbon and Beyond. And I know it's kind of like, dang, there's a rain chance tomorrow. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So you should be good to go. Sturgill Simpson's headlining tonight. Ooh, Third Eye Blind plays tonight. That'll be a good one. So obviously it's a stacked list today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow you got Noah Khan and you got Mega Maroney and you got the Goo Goo Dolls. So big days coming up for the festival down at the Expo Center. So if you are heading to it, just keep in mind that you may get caught in a shower tonight. Odds are you won't. And tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start to dry out. So if nobody has any questions, we'll go ahead and hop off here. You guys have a good weekend.